What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. It's time to talk about the ways that you can demonstrate preselection. One of the most common questions I get asked on this channel is how do I demonstrate preselection? And for those of you who don't know what preselection means, it's simply conveying that other women want you, right? Because we all know that the best way to get women is to already have women. But in order to have women, you must have women. So herein lies the paradox of preselection. It's hard to be preselected if you're not already preselected. And you'll find that this concept is sort of analogous in every other aspect of life. You'll find that the best way to get a job is oftentimes to already have a job. The best way to make new friends is to already have friends who can introduce you to more friends. Life doesn't typically give you what you want, it typically gives you what you already have. But relax, you're gonna get every single possible way that you can demonstrate preselection to the women you're talking to. And please don't be fooled, this is an absolutely imperative thing to do, because if a woman gets the idea that you are not desired by other women, it's only a matter of time before she decides it's time to hit the exit, it's time to start looking for another guy. And preselection is one of those things where it's not really effective on its own. You have to remember, it depends on the caliber of woman you're trying to attract. Like, a lot of guys will say, well, I attracted my girlfriend and I didn't need preselection. It's probably because your girlfriend is mid. Because here's the thing, the more attractive a woman is, the more she's gonna need to see some preselection. Like, you're gonna have to give her something, because attractive women have access to good looking guys. They have access to guys with a lot of money. They have access to guys with good physiques. These things aren't as scarce or as valuable as a man who is attractive to a lot of women. You see a lot of millionaires walking around these days. You don't see a lot of Dan Bilzerians walking around, right? That's a pretty rare and pretty special thing to be desired by other women, which is why it's one of the most powerful things you can display. And some men just don't understand preselection because they'll be preselected by a bunch of fives and then question why they're attracting more fives and not sevens. Women don't respond to preselection when the women who are selecting you are less attractive than her. It only works if the women are equal or more attractive than her. That's the only time a woman's even gonna give a fuck if you're preselected. Because while women like to pretend we're all beautiful, we're all gorgeous, the truth is they subconsciously have a hierarchy. They subconsciously rank each other. They know who's the hottest one. They know who's the most desired one. And so by extension, a 10 doesn't give a fuck if your girlfriend is a 5. It's not going to make her want you. It's not going to increase her desire for you. But if she sees that you're dealing with other women who are as pretty as her, if not prettier, then the preselection switch gets triggered. So again, it really depends on the attractiveness of women you're dealing with. For the guys watching this video who want the baddies, who want the 10s, preselection is absolutely necessary to some capacity, okay? Most normal women, you're not going to need to be like Dan Bilzerian and have 30 chicks with you, okay? That's unrealistic. Most of us are just not going to be preselected to that level. Preselection can just mean you have one other chick. Literally, if you have one other chick who wants you, that is more than enough, even for baddies. Again, as long as that one other chick is as attractive as the chick you're actually trying to attract. But if you're a guy who's like, dude, listen, man, I don't mind a 5, I don't mind a 6, then lucky for you, you're probably not going to need to display that much preselection to get that girl. The less attractive she is, the less preselection she's going to need to see, okay? Anyways, we're going to be ranking this from not ideal, but it still works, all the way up to the most elite way to demonstrate preselection. If you're able to do this properly, women are going to want you and they're going to subconsciously assume that you have access to more women. Now, as always, you guys know the drill. If you want to see more content like this, make sure you subscribe and let's get into the video. First things first, let's just get the obvious things out of the way. Having a girlfriend, of course, this is instant preselection, right? You ever walk into the mall by yourself, no woman's checking you out, no woman even cares. You walk into the mall with your girlfriend, all of a sudden every chick in the vicinity is fucking checking you out, staring, and it's really powerful, right? Having a girlfriend, you'll find that the time in your life where you have the most options is when you have a girlfriend. When you have a girlfriend, her friends are giving you choosing signals even though they're acting like they're not, because girl code, and every other woman in the vicinity also knows that you were selected, and so they will also present themselves to you. So having a girlfriend, instant preselection. Now, of course, you can't just have a girlfriend, right? We're assuming that most of the people watching this video are starting from scratch or starting from a point where they don't really have the ball rolling. So don't worry, relax. I'm going to show you other ways to demonstrate preselection and get the ball rolling if you're starting from absolutely zero. Now, next up, being good looking. Now, Being good looking is a very big misconception because people say it's not the fact that you're pre-selected, as if pre-selection isn't evolutionarily hardwired. It's just that he's good looking, which makes him pre-selected. Okay, that is true for a lot of women, okay? Because if a woman looks at you and she likes what she sees and she's highly attracted, it's not that she likes you in spite of pre-selection, it's that she assumes you are pre-selected because you are good looking. So in her head, I'm highly attracted to him, he must get other women. But please don't be fooled. If she assumes pre-selection and you do something along the lines to question that assumption or to prove it false, then she will lose attraction despite your looks. So if she looks at you and she's like, damn, he looks really good, I bet he gets other 10s, I bet he gets other 9s, but the truth is you don't, and then she sticks around long enough to find out that you don't, guess what's gonna happen? She will lose attraction because her assumption of pre-selection was proven false. So being good looking is instant pre-selection, but you have to be careful because it's not the end all be all like these black pillars think, okay? Of course, if she finds you good looking, chances are other women find you good looking, but she has to be able to tangibly see that, okay? Some guys are just not good at demonstrating pre-selection, which is what this video is about. Also, if you're good looking, but she finds out that you can get girls as hot as her, she will also lose interest because you have to remember, like I said before, pre-selection is only as effective as the level of attractiveness of the women who are selecting you. Next up, we have lying. And I'm just gonna say right now, everybody has to start somewhere. And while lying is not ideal, because, you know, it's easy to fool a woman with your words, guys, it really is. If you really want to, you can lie, and given that you're not completely clapped, and given that you lie in a way that's realistic and believable, women will actually take your words at face value. You can lie through storytelling, which is another thing that I'm gonna get into, but pretty much just acting like you're pre-selected or giving a woman the impression that you have other women when you really don't. And I'm just gonna put my hands up right here and say, I've done this before, okay? I've had situations where I was definitely not pre-selected, where no woman wanted me, but with the woman that I was dealing with, I had to create the illusion that I was. And let me tell you, it's not ideal, but it fucking works. And let's get off the moral high ground for a second. If you're in a situation now where your resume isn't the most optimal, you don't have much experience, you don't have much women, in my opinion, there is nothing wrong with lying, because here's what lying is going to do. It's going to at least get your foot in the door. It's going to take you from 0 to 1, and then once you're at 1, now you have enough experience and you have enough proof to where you don't have to lie anymore. So think of it as lying in order to not lie in the future. Okay, but why is lying not ideal? Well, if you start lying and she finds out that you're lying, which she will pretty quick because most guys are just not good at maintaining a lie for a long period of time. Yes, it may work short term and she may buy into your little lie and the illusion you've created, but it's going to be dispelled very quickly if you're not actually pre-selected, because, you know, women do perceive the appearance of a thing for reality, but if she can't physically see evidence that other girls want you or that other girls are talking to you, then she'll just know you're full of shit and you're just running your mouth. And remember, guys, pre-selection also works backwards. I don't think anyone else has coined this term, but I like to call it pre-rejection, which is to say, if all the women in the area reject you, the next woman is also going to reject you, okay? It's very predictable. And if you lie and she finds out, she's going to tell everyone you're a liar. She's going to tell her friends are going to tell their friends. And then all the women are going to quickly find out that you're a guy who lied about, you know, sleeping with that model when you really didn't. And it's not a good look. So I'm not going to tell you what to do, but if you are going to lie, make sure that you're a damn good liar and make sure that you have a plan B, okay? Make sure that you're in and then you're out. All right, next up we have photos. I'm going to put this at very effective if done correctly. Photos are extremely nuanced because while they are physical evidence that you are around a lot of women, and I see lots of guys on Instagram doing this, like they'll post photos of themselves with a big group of girls. That works. I'm not going to say that doesn't work. 100% girls are going to see that. They're going to see, okay, this guy's with a bunch of girls. But a way more effective way to leverage photos is to be a lot more subtle about it, because at the end of the day, women aren't stupid. They know that when you post a photo of you with other girls, you're intentionally trying to demonstrate pre-selection, and a truly pre-selected man doesn't have to try. She will find out naturally. She will find out accidentally. In fact, it may be in your best interest to procure the illusion that you don't even want her to find out that that you're pre-selected. That is so much more attractive, so much sexier to her than the guy who's like posting photos on like, hey guys, look at me with all these girls. Remember, the language of women is implicit. It is not explicit. When you're communicating explicitly, that tells me you have bad game and you don't have an understanding of the female brain. Everything has to be covert. So what is the best way to use photos covertly to demonstrate pre-selection? It's either to not post yourself with women that often, make it a very irregular thing, or better yet, let the women that you're with post you on their stories, and then maybe you could repost it or something. The point is though, it has to feel like you weren't trying that hard to show it, right? Guys who post too many photos, yes, it's gonna work with 50% of women, but it's also gonna turn a lot of women off because they're like, this guy's trying too hard. But when you do it in a subtle way, I'm telling you right now, it turns them all on. They all love it. Okay, so play the game a little bit smarter. Next up, we have storytelling. Again, very effective if done correctly. Now we're assuming that your stories are actually truthful as opposed to this. But if you're telling stories, you remember, you have to do this correctly. You can't just be a retard and go, yeah, I was actually in Bangkok with my model girlfriend, and yeah, did I forget to mention that she's a model? Like, that's too obvious, okay? The story has to be about something else, but then you're kind of sliding in the fact that you're pre-selected. The story cannot be about the fact that you're pre-selected. So an example of a good story would be, yeah, I was out in Thailand with my girlfriend and we saw this one homeless guy and she started laughing her ass off, and then like, you have to just talk about random shit, but then slide in the fact that, okay, I've dealt with women before. And you might think that this is trivial and that this isn't that effective, but the truth is, it really is, okay? Women really pick up on your stories and they pay attention to the little details. So you want to demonstrate pre-selection. One of the best ways to do that, if you don't have girls around you, if you don't have any physical evidence, is just through storytelling, okay? Have a couple great stories of your experiences with women in the past, women that you've had a lot of fun with, and then be prepared to recall them in front of other women. It helps a lot. Next up, we have body language. And I'm gonna say this is also very effective if done correctly. Body language can make the difference between pre-selection and pre-rejection. Imagine a guy at the club, he's leaning into the girl he's with, he is, trying too hard, it seems like he's the one gaming her and chasing her. Everyone else in that club, every other girl in that vicinity is going to know that he is in pursuit mode, and that is going to be a big turnoff to them. That does not indicate pre-selection. Now imagine the reverse scenario where the guy's kind of laid back, he's leaning away, and it kind of looks like the girl's gaming him. It kind of looks like the girl's leaning into him. She's trying to get his attention. At that point, he is the most pre-selected guy in the entire club. Every girl is looking at him. Every girl is paying attention and noticing him because of the fact that he looks like he's not caring and he's nonchalant, and he's actually kind of, aloof and distant, and it seems like he's not really in it. He's not really trying to secure or bag her. So your body language is absolutely essential to showing that you're selected. And everybody is going to pick up on this subconsciously, guys. Don't think that, oh, it's irrelevant or it doesn't matter. It actually really does. Next up, we have situational status. Again, very, very effective. Essentially, if you are him in the particular environment that you're in, women are going to assume you're pre-selected, okay? So if you're the captain of the sports team, she's going to assume, okay, he has a lot of friends, he's respected by the guys, then it would follow that he's also desired by other girls. If you're performing on stage at a concert, congratulations, women will just assume pre-selection. If you're her boss and she knows that you manage a bunch of other employees who are also women, she's going to assume pre-selection, okay? So situational status, very important. It's probably the cornerstone of true pre-selection, because some of the other stuff I talk about is mainly front end, which is like showing pre-selection, demonstrating the value. Situational status is the back end stuff. That's what actually is your foundation for pre-selection. So get on your purpose, be well known for something, and the women are gonna follow. Next up, we have female friends, probably one of the most underrated ways of demonstrating pre-selection. And I know the red pill guys are fucking fuming right now, banging their hands against the table like, what is this guy talking about? Female friends? That's the least alpha, most beta thing I've ever heard. I'd never be friends with a female. Dude, have you ever heard of girls who are hot but you're not actually attracted enough to them to want to smash? Like, I have a lot of female friends who are attractive, but I personally don't find them attractive enough to pursue. And it's not crazy to have female friends. I don't know why you guys act like, oh, men and women can't be friends because they're always trying to smash each other. That's just not true, bro. I'm not trying to smash all of my female friends. I'm just not. And the reason having female friends is such a hack is because not only will they introduce you to more women, It's because when women look at you, let's say you go out with female friends, women who are strangers who look at you cannot tell whether they are friends, whether it's one of them is your girlfriend, like they can't tell. So just by you being with a bunch of women, you're going to notice it's so much easier to open up sets with women in it. Like most of you guys cold approach by yourself, right? You'll go and you'll cold approach a girl by herself. What I want you to do is, if you have female friends, next time you're out with them, cold approach while you're with your female friends. Like let's say you're in a group, you peek over your shoulder, you see another group with girls in it, hey, excuse me, and then just start a conversation. And because she sees that you're with other women, she's going to be much more open, much more receptive to you than a girl who you approach and you're just all by yourself. Female friends is 100% going at instant pre-selection. It's so underrated, and while it may not give you the same level of pre-selection as a woman seeing that, you know, other women desire you sexually, it's still a really good starting point. Like having female friends is a really good foundation to just get to know more women, and for women to see, okay, at the very least he's socially calibrated enough to have female friends. Like at least he knows how to handle women being around him, which is actually extremely valuable, because most guys are creeps, most guys are weird, most guys are losers, and they cannot really handle female energy like that. So when a girl knows that, okay, this guy's around women a lot, she feels safer, she feels like, okay, he's not gonna come on too strong or anything like that. It's a really good look. Instant pre-selection. Next up, we have group approaches. Now, I'm only talking to around 10% of the viewers watching this video at this point, because I know for a fact most guys are not going to be approaching groups. First of all, it's hard enough to approach one woman by herself. We all get the nerves doing that. Opening up a group, for anyone who does it, you have my respect, because I understand firsthand how high reward it is to actually open up groups. What you have to realize is this is one of the most elite ways to instantly show pre-selection, because you don't need anything. Sometimes you're going to find that you're in an unfamiliar environment. You can't rely on your female friends. You don't have a girlfriend. You may not be the best looking. You have no way to really leverage anything. It's just you. And I actually find that approaching women in groups is so much more effective and so much easier if you know what you're doing and you have good game than approaching women who are by themselves, because in a group you have the unique opportunity to win her friends over and demonstrate pre-selection within her own friend group. Because when you open up a group, you have to understand women are all looking at each other. Okay, is this guy weird? How do we feel about this guy? Is he coming off too strong? Are we going to entertain him? Do we like him? And when she sees that you're making her friends laugh and all of them are slowly being won over by you, she's going to be won over by you, and it's going to be that much easier to not only win over the entire friend group, now you're pre-selected by a ton of women, but then actually get the girl that you want within the friend group. So you have to remember, one of the most important things when it comes to group approaches, most guys do this wrong, is they just go straight to the girl they like. They go straight to the hot girl. They walk in the bar, the first girl they approach is the hottest girl they see. Absolute rookie mistake. You never want to do that. You want to open up sets, right? Let's say you see a 3 set, a group of 3 women. You go, you engage with those 3 women, you become friendly with them, and then when the friend that you actually want sees that the other women like you, it's going to be so much easier to get her. It's so underrated. Lastly, we have leveraging the situation, which again is going to go at elite. So we just talked about group approaches. This is what real ballers do. Now I'm only talking to like 1% of the viewers. I know most guys are just not going to apply this because this is some high level shit, dude. This is like some mystery pickup artist 2008 shit. But if you can do this, you have my absolute respect. Leveraging the situation means you open up a set, right? You win over that friend group, so now her and her friends like you, and you will use that momentum to open up an adjacent set, to talk to an adjacent group. So now that you've won over these girls, hey, I want to introduce you to this group, and now you start merging groups together. You start merging women together, and now you have like 5 to 10 women who all are being introduced to each other, and you're the big man, and you're the fucking puppet master controlling the entire thing, and now they're all competing for your attention, and they're all competing for your validation. Very few guys can pull this off skillfully. I will admit that this is not an easy thing to do. I've only done this like a couple times, but every time I've done it, it has worked like a charm, and those were probably one of the best nights that I've ever had. These are the ways that you can demonstrate pre-selection, guys. I hope this was an informative video. There's really no other way you can demonstrate it. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.